I wish I had known the advice in this book earlier, because this book has changed my life in under a few weeks, and I believe it has the potential to transform how you choose to live your life too. I have way too many sticky notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out a few mantras at random and share what it means to me and why I believe it's important for you to remember as well. Don't reserve your kindest praise for a person until their eulogy. Tell them while they are alive, when it makes a difference to them. Write it in a letter they can keep. When I read this quote, I remember my dear friend Octavius, who passed away recently. They were the most beautiful, caring, wise, nurturing, supportive person. They had an extremely large heart. They were so good with words and with poems. And just listening to their voice brought me a sense of calm in my life. And I wish I had that advice and could tell Octavius the things I thought about him and why he's so special and why he matters so much in the world. Learn how to be alone without being lonely. Solitude is essential for creativity. Something that I've been wondering a lot is how do we get time and space to create? I wrote about this a few months back on an article on boredom and how boredom is the foundation of creativity. And I noticed this in myself the other day while hanging up laundry, and I was telling myself, this is so boring, stop doing this. And I had to remind myself that in these moments of extreme boredom is where we get our best ideas. And if we just sit with it, if we just sit with the sensations of the wet clothes in our hands and hanging up in the laundry line, at those moments, we transcend the chaotic mind and we enter into this calmer, more present, more creative state. And that really has helped me as a writer to enter into the creation process. And I recommend the same to you. When you're feeling stuck in something you're creating, do the laundry, hang your clothes. What does that feel like? Don't be the best, be the only. This is a classic Kevin Kelly quote. When I grew up, my mother always gave me some advice. In Indian culture, quite often you're pushed to becoming a doctor or a lawyer. And she would quite often tell me, it doesn't matter really what I do. She just wants me to be the best at whatever I do. And I think this quote goes one level further to that advice. Something that I think about a lot is what makes me me, what makes me unique. And over time, I've been seeing a coming together of different skills. I've picked out skills in behavioral science and an understanding of the human mind. I've also picked out skills in yoga and meditation practices and breath work through pranayama. And through the combining of the two, I did my first workshop called a growth mindset workshop. And I don't think anyone else has done this work of integrating the science of behavior change with yoga and meditation. And I just had the most beautiful time being able to share this in the local community center. And I think that's very much with Kevin Kelly's quote about don't be the best, be the only. Pay attention to what you pay attention to. I've been thinking about attention in many different contexts, and not just about what I'm paying attention to, but also what I'm not paying attention to. A morning routine that I enjoy quite often is to walk from my home to the beach. And quite often I miss out on all these little things and details. The little swing on a tree or the color of the bush, the ocean. And just by noticing the little things, the small details, I've been able to add a lot of richness into my own little walk and into my own life. I especially think about that in relationship with nature, the ripples of the ocean and the patterns that they make, even just the sound of the foamy texture of a wave crash. It's magical. There's joy, there's meaning, there's beauty, and there's presence in that. And we can be a little bit more mindful every day of what we pay attention to and also what we're not paying attention to. Okay, so the final one I'm going to pick is not at random. It's actually the last piece of advice in this book. And it goes like this. Advice like these are not laws. They are like hats. If one doesn't fit, try another. I love the humility in that final piece of advice. I think it's a microcosm of the humility of the author himself. I actually need to go. I have to return this copy of the book to the library. I hope I've inspired you enough to get this. The book is called Excellent Advice for Living by Kevin Kelly. I'll see you soon.